Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today, I'd like to discuss how people set themselves up to failure. Yes, not to success, failure. But before we start, make sure to like, subscribe, and do share, especially if you find value in this presentation. It helps our channel grow, and I want to give you a big thank you for all the support you're giving us this entire time. All right, so here goes. Many a time when people set up themselves to big dreams, massive dreams, it only becomes a dream, never becomes reality. And part of the reason is because they never anticipate the hard work that it will take them to get there. There's a really great children's book out there. It's The Trouble I Had Getting to Salu Salu. It's by Dr. Seuss. It's one of a classic, and I've read it to my kids several times. And basically the short story of it is there's this guy who's the main character in the book, and he's walking around his neighborhood and he falls down. He trips over rocks. He gets bitten by, one type of animal, bitten by another type of insect, and he just, sees this person passing by, and he tells him that I'm going to Salu Salu, where they have little troubles or very few. And that's exactly what we like to do in life, right? We go through a menu in life, we say, oh, I'll take the easy way, right? And especially if you want to do big things in life, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be so many challenges that you didn't think about and you never anticipated. And just when you think you had it done and you've reached a certain plateau and you say, no, this is where my standard is, you'll be challenged by it. And then you have to fight for it. Every single day is a fight to maintain where you are in life. And it's really simple. And when you pass by a very wealthy neighborhood and you see a very expensive house, and you see that the person bought this house, it's not that they make X amount of money that they bought this house. They worked X amount and they were willing to do X amount in order to get that house. It's a completely different perspective as opposed to looking at the house and saying, oh, it's a $5 million house. No, don't look at it like that. Look at it at what they had to endure in order to get to where they got to. Because if you focus on the endurance, on the fact that things are going to be challenging. And if you do historical review of anyone that has ever done something great in their lives, they've always come to some sort of breaking point. I mean, the numbers are just there, okay? I could list maybe 10 people right now just thinking about it, of how many times they actually failed before they saw success. And it could be Elon Musk, it could be the guy who created Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, the list just goes on. And it's just appalling that people think that when they're going to set up to something, it's just going to be easy riding and they're going to hit it. And initially, if they do see, and one of the most intoxicating things is that if they do see success early on, they kind of anticipate that that's going to be the standard moving forward. And sometimes it is, okay? But sometimes, and many times, it's not. And you have to recreate yourself, and you have to fight for it again and again and again in order to sustain what you're doing. And if you accept that before you head out, you will be able to endure it much easier. Because if you head out and you think it's going to be all rosy and easy all the time, it's not. And that's just the reality of life. I mean, I've never seen anyone who's done anything really meaningful or has done anything in life without some sort of trials and tribulations. It could be family trials and tribulations. It doesn't have to be only financial. It doesn't only have to be something in the workspace. It could be anything. Everybody goes through certain hardships and certain challenges. I mean, if you look at Steve Jobs, you look at he started the company Apple, and he was ousted from the company he started. I mean, could it be any worse, right? And then he had to start something on the side, and then he was brought back to Apple, and he reinvigorated Apple at a point when Apple, computer company, Apple was almost going to come to bankruptcy. It was almost going to be dissolved. Think about it. If today, if at the time Steve Jobs didn't reinvigorate Apple, it didn't come and wasn't, infused with money from Ross Perot at the time, Apple wouldn't exist today. All the Apple products that we have today would not exist. The world would not look as it does today. And if you remember correctly, Apple was the one that was really the trendsetter when it comes to the MP3 players, and then what evolved into the phones, into the smartphones, and they were the first ones at the cusp of technology moving things forward. Everybody else was just playing catch up. So in life, just accept it before it actually starts, that things are going to be hard. And if it's not, well, guess what? You've prepared yourself for the worst and you could smooth sail from there. But if you do anticipate that life is going to be hard or life is going to be challenging, okay, it's not going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, and you decide whether or not you want to suffer, okay, that is up to you on how you want to take it. Not saying it's easy, not judging anybody, completely legitimizing and completely validating that life is hard for everybody and whatever they're doing in life. And many a time we kind of fall into our just cruising by. Okay, I actually took a road trip yesterday, and I did a bike trip that was almost 10 miles long. And at one point, I saw myself just cruising away, and that's probably the worst thing that you can do. And I said to myself, whoa, I'm not working out here. I'm just pedaling, but I'm not working out here. And I caught myself. And that is about life. You got to catch yourself when you're just cruising along and not pushing yourself forward. Thank you for joining me this Motivational Monday. We'll see you here next week.